Guys, I'm back, and I hope you guys missed me because I missed you guys. I did. This is probably my first video back in like 3 months. But I'm gonna get right down to it. Now, the rules have changed of YouTube. They no longer want cursing because then you won't get advertisers. And I don't want the family to get butthurt like they always do and cry to YouTube. She mentioned my name, or she said this, or she said that. So we're just going to use initials. Some of them I've made up my own initials. ST is STD because he is one with the family and he's like a big venereal disease. So his nickname is STD. Mama Bear, since that's usually the other one's mama, so we're going to call her BDT. And why is she BDT? Because those are actually her initials. Then we have BD in jail, and we have SA in jail, and then we have PBD. Who is PBD? Porno BD. So yeah, those are my nicknames. The one I'm most proud of is STD because I have called this one from the beginning. And that's what he's kind of like a big STD that will never go away. And who knows, he probably gave Mama BD an STD. Who knows? I don't really care if he did or he didn't. But let me move on. All right, so no more horsing around. I'm being dead serious now. KZ's brief was fucking awesome. Oop, I cursed. Sorry, YouTube. It was absolutely noteworthy. You guys know, I am the first one that, come on, Zelna, really, this is what you put out? I am the first one to bash her. I am the first one to say she fucked up. Oop, I did it again. I can't stop it. And I am so impressed by her new brief. It feels like finally she started to work. Finally. She finally put some damn effort into this case. That's what it reads like. Anyone that says otherwise is a moron, honestly, because it is just so good. It just covers everything. I mean, talk about putting this judge in her place. Anyone that read that judge's motion, anyone that knows anything about the law knows that that judge was 100% wrong. Now, I don't know if a lot of you guys do know or not, and it drives me nuts that she made a deal with the devil, but Casey actually made a deal with the devil. She made a deal with the state of Wisconsin that she wouldn't go after Kratz for Brady violations if they agreed to something. I don't know the whole deal, but I couldn't believe she made it. Like, why would you sell your soul to the devil? And she did. So any chance that Kratz was ever going to get in trouble, right out the window. Not going to happen. The chance is gone. But he's been awfully quiet lately. But then again, you have his wife, who rambles her mouth on Twitter, who thinks she's a big shot. But that's a whole nother story. I'm not even gonna. She's another STD. Okay, so, but then again, we all know Kratz gave her STDs, probably. But I saved myself. I said probably. But, you know, because he's like the big man. But, all right, I'm getting so way off track because I'm having fun with Kratz. But, all right, here we go. So, I am not surprised that Zellner came out with this revelation about STD and BD. Not surprised at all. What I am surprised about is the searches that were on the computer. I honestly was. Like, that's some sick shit. And, oop, I cursed again. I should make like a dollar draw every time I put it in and give it to YouTube. I'm really, really blown away with the pictures, with everything. There's a little discrepancy about the dates. We don't know if it is September 18th, 2006, or it's supposed to be 2005. It may be that Zellner made a mistake, maybe, but it may also be 2006. It could have happened after the fact. I don't know. I am not going to doubt her. It was just beautiful. The whole thing was just beautiful. Especially naming Scott. Everybody who knows me from the beginning knows I would like nothing more than for Scott. And whoop, I can't say his name. I'm killing myself here. For STD to be guilty with PBD. That would give me such pleasure. Probably almost better than sex. just to shove it up the FAMILY's ass that I was right from day one, and they are, as I said on Twitter, I truly, truly feel sorry for the supporters that gave money to that POS. I truly, my heart breaks for you. Not to Steven, but to that POS and everything he's done, knowing that they know what really happened. Now, this gets into my theory. I cannot say for sure. I'm not guaranteeing this. This is my theory, and I want you to think about it. I'm starting to think, as well as others, that Brandon did see a body. And I believe that body came from Bobby. Now, could I have put this together on my own? Bernard Phillips did, so yeah, we could have. But I really hadn't looked at Bobby. I was looking more at Scott. But from Casey's ocean, it seems to me that BD is the one that is more guilty, and STD probably helped him cover it up. Now, I know the family would like to say that, oh, they're not involved. Okay, so if they're not involved, then answer these questions. One, why did they lie? Why was PBD the state's key witness? 3, nobody's ever answered the smirking question, which I know was a damn smirk. I'm not a fool. I can show it to you guys, but I know you guys have all seen it 1,000 times. That was a smirk, and that's not going to change. That was a definitive smirk. That was not gas like a baby. That was not he was having a rough day. That was a smirk. Why the smirk? Because he knows what's going on. Now, think about this, though. What I didn't know until tonight, when I actually looked it up, is I thought that in most states, 16 to 18, you can't be tried as an adult unless like serious murder or something like that. But the way they were questioning Brendan, I firmly, in my heart of hearts, believe, and I don't really care if you don't believe it, just think about it, that they all knew that this was Scott, or Bobby did it. Bobby called Scott paranoid. Scott helped him. And they moved the car, and they burned the body. Now, why do I think this then? Why do I think this now? In Casey's brief, it said that her car was found 590 yards from Scott Tadich's house. Okay, I don't know if you're familiar with yards, but I double-checked. It is a little over a quarter of a mile. That's not very far. That's pretty far from Avery's house, though. Now let's get into Colburn. Colburn saw the car at Scott Tadich's house, or by Scott Tadich's house. The witness that came forward that she wouldn't name, I truly believe is Brian Dassey. And his testimony is absolutely fantastic. Why it's coming out now and it didn't come out then, I don't know. I haven't answered that question yet. But what I do know is that Colburn saw the car, had the license plate. I would not doubt for 1 second that anonymous phone call came in from Scott Tadich telling them where to find the car, or from Ryan or anyone else of where they can find the car. Now, once we found out that Bobby had all these fantasy stories, what did that trigger? Now we know where Kratz got his damn stories from. I always thought he just made them up because he has like these total sexual deviant, fantasies, and that's where he got it from. No, he got it from these pictures, because the pictures that Bobby had, the cops already went through that. I mean, Zellner's people went through it like a lot bigger and a lot more. But the truth is, no, these have already been discovered. So Mr. Kratz, because him I could use his real name because he's not butthurt. He won't shut down my video because I use his name because He's a narcissist, so any attention is good attention for Kratz or his wife. Hi. So now you have Kratz's press conference, which we all know that it was just all know and love. And in the press conference, they talk about how he had this rape victim and blah, blah, blah. Now, if you listen to Kratz's story and compare it to what they found on Bobby's picture, man, those two go hand in hand. Like, hand in hand. Scary. Like, truly scary. The one question I have about those pictures, though, is they were done on sporadic days. Whether it's 2005, 2006, doesn't matter. She gave like 2 dates of April and September. If you're into porn or you're into sexual deviance, you're not going to look once every 3 months. It just doesn't happen. People don't do stuff like that. So what they do though is if maybe you have a friend that came over, and in no way, shape, or form am I saying that BD is innocent, because he's not. But what I am saying is that maybe it was the friend. Maybe it was Josh. Maybe it was Ryan, because I think most people forgot Ryan was friends with Bobby. For some reason, I can't remember exactly, but I remember like they dealt pot together or something, or one bought pot from the other, and we know Teresa was a pot smoker. So that's how that all ties in, but I firmly believe that the stuff found on his computer came from somebody else. I don't know if it came from inside the house, which I really don't think it did. It could have been Scott. Scott could have been the one using it. Now, I've heard people say that it was Brendan's computer. Okay, I'm going to refute that by Brendan didn't have a pot to piss in, and he was like 15 years old. I know he was 16 when he got arrested, but he was like 15 years old. So I can assure you, he didn't go buy his own computer. So I don't know where that theory came from, honestly. Now, going into more, Kratz knows that Bobby's involved and knows that Scott's involved. That I strongly believe. Absolutely 110%. And that is why Kratz made a deal with Bobby. You turn on Bobby, I won't turn this evidence. I mean, you turn on Steven, I won't use this evidence against you. We'll just kind of wipe it under the rug. You wash our hands, we'll wash your hands. It's also the reason why I believe that BD has stayed quiet, has never been in the spotlight, has never done anything to show his face. I don't even think he's ever visited Brandon. So because of that, it goes back to my original feeling. And my original feeling is that they told Brendan that he wouldn't get charged as an adult. He will only get charged as a minor. If he takes the fall for it, then he'll be out in 2 years. Somebody else said, and we know that the cops weren't actively on him. They weren't trying to get him for this major thing. So what I truly think is that Brendan had nowhere to go. Like, a lot of people have said, I've heard this more than once, but a lot of people have said, well, by now, don't you think Brendan would have, done something? Brendan had nobody to go to. If Brendan turned around and said, no, Bobby actually did it, where the fuck was he going to go? Oh, I did it again. Where was he going to go? He would have absolutely nowhere to go. And that is the problem with the story. That, I don't know, the more I think about it, and the more I talk to people, I really think Brandon did see a body. And he knew what happened, but he could not turn on anybody. I don't think he may have known the whole story, but I don't doubt for 1 second anymore, and I used to, but I don't doubt for 1 second that he saw something. Nothing to do with Steven. I still firmly believe Steven is innocent as you or I. I think he is the one that keeps getting sucked into this, and again, I hate to be wrong, and I hate with all my guts that I am about to say this, And anyone in the Facebook rooms knows why. But man, Bernard Phillips is right. That Brendan may not have been involved in the actual murder. It may have just been an after effect, which I totally believe. Because if you look at anything that is on, if you look at anything that, what's her name said? Kayla. Yeah, Kayla. Kayla said about him seeing a dead body. All she had to do was change in the fire. Fuck, maybe Scott and Bobby put her in the burn barrel. And that's the fire that Brendan saw him in. We know Brendan is not the brightest. But the way Brendan was changing his story, the way Brendan was upset, and it also fits together with the pieces that Brendan saw a body in a fire. Stuff, I don't remember exactly what it was, but stuff that there's no way he could have known unless he actually saw it. And that's what guilty people are always saying, that, there's no way. So what criminals didn't know, which I was actually kind of surprised, that in the state of Wisconsin, anyone over the age of 10 who's charged with homicide or attempted homicide can be tried in adult court. Attorneys can request a trial in juvenile court if they're under 16, but they must convince a judge that juvenile court would be better for the child and for society. So it's whacked, peeps. I mean, seriously whacked. But I am totally going to stick with that Brendan Phillips was right. Bernard Phillips was right. And I may have had it right in the beginning, but I definitely strayed away. But I only strayed away because they said Scott was innocent. So Scott was innocent to me. Like, I gave up on it. All right. And everyone else cared. But now with this new stuff, I ain't not giving up at all. I'm going back to right up STD's butt. So, all right. So that's all I have for you. Like I said, I was going to regurgitate the whole brief, but there's so much to it. I just kind of wanted to sum up for my first video back. And I hope you guys have a fantastic night. Don't forget to check out my other videos. I also have some gaming videos me and my son did. But those are going on a separate channel. But now that Making a Murderer is back and Casey had this amazing brief, I will do piece by piece. But you guys know me. I hate doing what other people do. And I hate doing regurgitating same old shit. So I did pull up in Making a Murderer Uncensored. Feel free to join. Did go ahead and piece together some of the best stuff at it. So I will do another video tomorrow. But that one I'm going to show like the actual screen on it. So it won't be me, but I figured first day back you guys wanted to see me, I hope. So have a great night. Again, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to check out my other videos. And I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.